The casting is fantastic. Obviously, it goes without saying, absolutely everyone.
Yeah.
Even in tiny little roles, the casting is unbelievable.
Yeah.
Obviously, you know, this film's very much at an early stage designated for Dan Aykroyd and Eddie Murphy.
Yeah.
But my favourite performance in this film is Jamie Lee Curtis, right?
Mm.
And the reason for that is, what I think is really cool about it is that her role wasn't intended for her. You know, they saw various actresses for that role. So she had to win the role.
Right.
You know, she'd only ever done slasher horror films at that stage.
Right. She'd never done a comedy.
Never done anything like this, right?
Yeah.
And she came in and obviously won the role. And she's so unbelievably perfect in this film.
Mm.
And in a way, without, you know, she's kind of, I mean, she's like the heart of this film. And she's kind of the smartest person in this film as well.
Yeah, she is, yeah.
And that's a really kind of good example of how you can have that female character in a film that has two male leads, although I do think this is a three-hander, this film. But most people would see it as two male leads. And I do think this is a good example of how you can have this really strong female character without it being a really obvious strong female character. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where there's a scene where she beats up some guy or something, like something stupid like that.
There's nothing heavy-handed.
No,
every single thing is done without you noticing it's being done.
Yeah. And because we have to mention it, and there's no point not mentioning it, it's the elephant in the room. Yes, Jamie Lee Curtis also looks amazing naked in this film.
It's
the elephant in the room. You've got to mention it because when people talk about trading places,
they always talk about her tits.
Because despite that, she manages to be an equal part in the success of this film through her performance. You know, and even the way that she uses her sexuality in those certain scenes. Well, I think it's obvious to say without Dan or without Eddie, this film doesn't work. Very true. Mm. But I think also this film would not be as successful if someone else had got in that role, which they could have done.
It's a great film, isn't it? One thing I was going to say, because I wanted to say, is that whenever you bloody mention Die Hard, someone always does the whole, is it a Christmas film? I've seen so many polls on Twitter, is Die Hard a Christmas film? It's so hackneyed. There's two types of Christmas film. Films about the nativity, then there's everything else. This is a film set solely at Christmas. It even has a bit of a classic Christmas theme of family being brought back together at the end.
Christmas films are usually films that are, in my mind, are about Christmas. So, you know, It's a Wonderful Life is a film that I will rewatch most Christmases at some point.
Yeah. But I would say, the only thing I would say about the Christmas thing is, and it's, I've got to get it off my chest and sound right. One thing that annoys me is, saying Die Hard is your favourite Christmas film has become the classic cry of wankers who like to put himself across as being a bit alternative, hasn't he? My favourite Christmas film. My favourite Christmas film is Die Hard.
Yeah. Deal with that if you can.
Can you possibly? And do you know what the music equivalent of that is? Oh, my favourite Christmas song is Fairy Tale of New York. Because it cuts through. I fucking hate Fairy Tale of New York purely because wankers are always the first ones to go, oh, you like Christmas? My favourite one's Fairy Tale of New York. It cuts through.
You're like, don't be a cunt, mate. Everyone knows it's Slade.
Yeah, exactly.
Slade's the best Christmas song. Everyone knows it, and you're just trying not to be obvious. What you call that is a case of someone working overtime to sound interesting, right?
Exactly.
And it doesn't just exist in Christmas. The other two great examples of it in day-to-day life are this. Someone who says, I don't like the Beatles. Of course you like the Beatles, mate. Don't be a cunt. Everyone does. You know what else? People who have as their house cheese red Leicester instead of cheddar. I don't really like cheddar. Fucking hell. What the hell's wrong with this country?
Christmas film Die Hard, favourite Christmas song, Fairy Tale of New York.
Ridiculous. Cheddar, Slade, the Beatles, face backs.
God love him and rest him, Alan Rickman. A man who has frequented sort of many a Christmassy film in his time. Clearly he's unbelievable in this film. Clearly he, again, much like John McClane, influenced all further action heroes.
Yeah.
He influenced all further action villains, didn't he?
Yeah.
That even to this day, you know, I mean, as soon as you see a villain who's quite smart and basically doesn't look like Bennett from Commando.
But also,
that's what
mate,
they're going for.
The other thing is high camp, right? It's threatening camp.
Yeah.
That's what it is. Yeah. He does threatening camp in this movie in a way that has been copied a great deal ever since. I mean, this is before Robin Hood, Prince of Thieves, right? Which I guess was his ultimate threatening camp performance. Yeah. But he sort of, in some ways, tries that characterization out here, doesn't he? Almost like a test run before being the Sheriff of Nottingham. And
Joe, you've got to remember that there's the character that Alan Rickman plays and created is not on the page. Do you know what I mean? Yeah. Yes, there's lines like, he gets Savile Row suits and Arafat gets it there too, and all those kind of things are there to enforce him as being kind of like gentry, Hans Gruber. But everything else that people remember about him totally comes from Alan Rickman. And to consider that this was his first film, he was confident enough, despite it being his first film, to be able to say, this is how this character should be played. No one's ever played it like this before, but I'm not going to let that worry me. But he's come in there and basically came in and rewrote the rule book on action villains the way that John McClane rewrote the rule book on action heroes, which I guess is why this film is so seminal.
It turns out every bloke has hero fantasies on a regular basis.
It was really seized upon, you're right, but just like ordinary blokes who kind of like, he's a bit like, he's a bit like me.
He's a bit of a geezer, isn't he? Bit of a geezer like me. Just a bit of a geezer, just like, he don't want trouble. He don't want trouble in that bloke. Yeah. But trouble comes looking for him, he's going to fucking sort it out. You know, that's like me.
If you start something, he's going to finish it, mate.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing about me, right? I'm good as gold. I won't give you a moment's trouble, right? Yeah. But if you start causing a rumpus, right? If you get yourself all excited, right? You get all excitable.
You get all lemon.
I'm gonna have to take action. If you're put it this way, if you're a naughty boy, I'm gonna give you a smack on the body. That's like that John McClane. He knows the score. He's like me. He's just a normal dad.
Yeah, he's handing out slaps on bodies all over the shop, mate. All up and down every floor of that building there.
And probably the best one is the evil witch-like neighbour who threatens.
Oh yeah, awful.
Who owes a lot to the Wicked Witch of the West in Wizard of Oz. I mean, she plays. Totally, it's more than a homage. It's almost like a pastiche of that character, who is one of my all-time favourite movie characters.
Just try. I'll get you, my pretty, and your little dog too. I warned you, friend.
Because obviously she's fucking hilarious, right? And this woman plays exactly the same, right down to the fact that she threatens to kill a dog, which I believe is what the old crone in Wizard of Oz at the beginning in the black and white bit does. She turns out, she says, I'm going to have that dog killed. And you're like, fucking hell. Are you, what? You can't threaten to kill some kid's dog. Yeah. You fucking mad. Joe Dante's seen that. He's thinking that is a brilliant way to establish a character. Like, just
and I agree with you totally. I think, especially knowing Joe Dante, you would have thought, I want this character to be like the witch in the Wizard of Oz now.
Yeah.
Mrs. Deagle.
She turns up at the fucking bank at his place of work and she goes, right, your dog, I can't remember what he's done, attacked her tree or something. She went,
it's a snowman. She's got a fiberglass snowman.
And he says, I'll pay for it or something. She goes, nah, I don't want that. I don't want your money. He goes, what do you want? And she went, I want your dog dead. You're like, fucking hell. This film's serious, man. This is a hardcore film. We're still in the early stages. And this woman's rocked up at his place of work and in front of people said, I want your dog to be executed. And then the fucking dog, unbeknownst to her, is underneath the counter and he doesn't like it. And the slander, he jumps up and jumps at her, doesn't he?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, go on, son.
Go on. Have her. The bit that always makes me laugh, as a kid and still does now, is, you know, when the person opens the door and the Gremlins are carol singing, but obviously they can't read, so they're just going, that fucking bit's brilliant. I love that.
They're fucking hilarious, Gremlins.
There's two bits I really love. The bit in the pub, obviously, in the bar.
Yeah. Well, when they're pissed up, and she keeps serving them. But I kind of think, why doesn't Phoebe Cates go, lads? Like, no.
I think she probably at first thought, get them drunk enough so they pass out, but of course they don't pass. Or something.
They're Gremlins. They don't pass out.
I quite like the one who gets a bit depressed and the melancholic drunk one. You know, who's got like the hat on and the facts, isn't he? He gets quite depressed about the whole thing.
I feel bad for them because in this film, the whole idea is they were all right when they were cute, but once they turned green, have them fucking killed.
Do you know what? Would you have liked to have had a night on the piss with the Gremlins at that time?
In the 80s, In the 80s, I would have fucking gone out if Stripe had got on the blower and said, hello, pal. Listen, me and some of the lads are going out. We're going to watch a movie, then we're going to go out that pub in the town. We're all having a whip, right, for the bar. And we've got a couple of fucking grams in as well, yeah? And we're going to go out and fucking have it. You in or what, son? I'd be like, fucking count me in, lads. I'm a bit worried, though, because did the other lads know I'm not a gremlin? That's all right. They're absolutely good as gold. I told them you was human. They said, no problem. He's a good lad. He can come along. I don't want any trouble. When everyone's pissed, they start having a go at me because I'm human. No, don't worry. They're good as gold, these lads. They're with me. You just say you're with me. Oh, all right, then.
I think it would have been, I mean, if you analyse what happens in the pub, it's just a slightly more exaggerated version of what you'd see in most pubs at that time.
Yeah. And then, like, you like it when they're all, like, sort of singing Irish songs with each other, with their arms around each other at the pub.
Yeah. Can you imagine getting the final edit of this? And you can almost imagine him thinking, watching it and going,
what are we going to do with this?
So what? It's good, but I'm not sure it's what we were expecting.
I mean, when you watch the trailer and you watch the TV spot and stuff, it's very much been cut to be a very like wacky comedy.
Zany, wacky comedy, yeah.
Bill Murray. Karen Allen.
It sounded like you'd seen a ghost.
The ghost, John Forsythe. Bobcat Goldthwait.
Hey! You glad to see me, or is this a shotgun in your pocket?
That's obviously how they were going to push it out. You know, that they thought, right, well, we can't really tell everybody how weird this is going to be. So
weird is one of the good words for it. It's very weird film and strange. It's a strange movie. It's a strange film, but that's what makes it so good. You know, it's unexpected.
You get a lot of Bill Murray, and you get a really, really good moment at the end when you get him to really launch into a speech, and he's really going for it, and you can see he's really. You know, he's really getting taken up in it.
Yeah, he's getting taken up in it. He obviously had lived
tears, doesn't he? Yeah. It was great. And to see him in a moment like that in a movie, you don't really. I can't really think of another movie where he's been that sort of in that sort of emotional, energetic release moment.
Do you know, I was thinking about the fact that, you know, Bill Murray has this thing, doesn't he, where he obviously was a big comedy star. And then he made a decision that he wanted to win an Oscar in a dramatic, if not totally dramatic, hopefully totally dramatic, or sort of like slightly more kind of austere comedic role, like a Rushmore, for example.
Yeah.
And so he's definitely, because he's picked certain films and he's picked certain directors that are considered Oscar friendly, you know, and that's one of the reasons we didn't get a Ghostbusters, a proper Ghostbusters 3. You know, we should have got a Ghostbusters 3 in like the 90s. But the reason why we didn't is because he kind of was getting into that zone of, you know, plus he had a lot of fallings out with the rest of the guys who were his mates, but he had fallen out with Howard Ramis for many years, you know, and things like that. Dan Aykroyd, I think, has famously said, Dan Aykroyd's like Bill Murray's best mate. And he's like one of the few mates that stuck with Bill Murray, because Bill Murray is notoriously morose and has incredibly bad temper fits, that Dan Aykroyd calls them the Murricane.
Really?
When the Murricane blows through. Yeah, he said when the Murricane blows through, you know, it's not fun to be around. He said that.